Gentlemen, too much supply makes the price go down. Some of you guys, you're too available. You're too available to people that are currently taking you for granted. They're not appreciating your time. They're not respecting your time. You're always there. You're Mr. Reliable. I'm always here. I'm happy to help. And although there's nothing wrong with being that guy, if your efforts are being recognized and like I said, appreciated, by all means, keep showing up for these people. But oftentimes you will notice that when you're always doing things for people, they will tend to start overlooking what you're doing. And it won't mean as much as it used to. For example, if you're a guy that always, every day, buys flowers for his wife, that act now will lose some of the specialness, if you want to call it that, right? It won't mean as much because you're always doing it. And for a lot of guys that do things like that, it comes from the nice guy syndrome, which I've spoken against in previous videos. You don't want to be a quote unquote nice guy because nice is performative. It's inauthentic. Oftentimes you're doing it because you want to get rewards and points. And if I do that, maybe she will finally let me, you know what I mean? That's where it comes from most of the time. You don't want to be a nice guy. You want to be a good guy. A good guy does things that he believes is right in the moment. He doesn't feel like he needs to do this to win somebody over or, no, I'm doing this because it feels right. Absolutely buy your girl flowers, but when you feel like buying her flowers. Don't buy her flowers because she told you to, or because if you miss her day, then she'll get really angry. No, buy flowers because you want to. So going back, when you're always showing up, when you're always doing these gestures for certain people, whether it's, you know, your girlfriend, wife, or whether it's even some friends, you know, you're always helping a friend out, he potentially may start taking you for granted. And you will know when somebody has started to take you for granted, their tone will shift. They're no longer speaking to you the same way they used to. Maybe they stopped saying thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, bro. It means a lot to me. You will notice that sometimes they can even get quite disrespectful, actually. It's almost like they're entitled to your time. Well, obviously you'll do this for me, obviously. It's like, well, no, I don't have to do this for you. You know, even picking up the phone, you know, this is something that I personally believe. Just because somebody calls you, you don't have to pick up if you're not in the mood to speak. Even if it's a close friend, call them back when you feel like speaking. But if you don't, it doesn't make you a bad friend. Some of you guys, you have that nice guy syndrome. Once again, somebody calls you like, oh, I don't want to speak, but he's going to get mad at me, or, you know, all right then, hello. And look, you might be having a bad day and that phone call cheers you up. But the point is this, if you don't feel like doing something, you don't have to. And some of you guys right now, you need to start saying no to more things because you're always there. You're always saying, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, all right. And you're noticing your efforts are not being recognized or appreciated anymore. In the workplace, perhaps because you're so good at what you do, they just give you so much more work. Other people's work, may I say. Oh, he'll sort it out, he's good. So now you're doing double or triple the work for the same pay. Other people are getting away with doing less work because you're taking over some of their duties. So you don't want to be that guy, gentlemen, that people take advantage of because he's there, he'll always do it. Even when it comes to dating, you don't want to be too available, not because it's some sort of strategy and, oh, if you don't make yourself available, she'll like that. It's not like that. But the reason why you shouldn't be too available is because Once again, it's not really authentic of you to always be there. You've got your own life. You've got things that you need to be doing. You need to have distance in between you. Distance allows women to think of you, miss you. And look, this also applies to male friendships. If you're always next to your boy, you know, it's not the same as if you haven't seen him for a week or a month or, you know, better yet, 6 months. You know, when you hang out again after 6 months, you're like, man, it's been so good. You know, you're talking for like 6 hours straight. But if you see him every day for 4 hours, even hanging around him might start to get annoying a little bit. It's just human nature. We start to appreciate less what is always in front of us, what is always available. And you can tell the energy just starts to feel off. It starts to feel off. And if you notice people are starting to get disrespectful, start demanding some things that you should be doing for them, you need to withdraw. And this takes me very nicely to a quote from the 48 Laws of Power. It's actually Law 16, which is use absence to increase respect and honor. Right? And sometimes you don't even have to wait until people take advantage of you to do this. When you're being admired for your craft and how well you're doing things, sometimes just withdrawing from the scene just allows people to really appreciate the work that you've done a little bit more. It allows the dust to settle and people to actually think about what you've done. I mean, you know what, this guy, he really is something special. You know, musicians do this quite a lot. You know, one famous example is Michael Jackson. He'd disappear sometimes for months. People would be like, where's Michael Jackson? I think the longest he was away from the public eye was like 2 years. People start asking questions. Where is he? What's he doing? You almost become some sort of mythical creature, you know? Like a conspiracy. Like, where is he? Right? You know, I'm just going to read you a snippet from this law, which is as follows. In wielding power, both presence and absence are key concepts. According to Law 16 of the 48 Laws of Power, with a strong presence, you attract attention and overshadow everyone else. But if you overdo it and you become too available, people will stop paying attention to you and you'll lose respect and power. This is where absence comes in. You can preserve and enhance your status by withdrawing at the right moment, just before people start getting tired of you. The cycle of seduction and love works this way. When your lover begins taking you for granted, pull away for a while without explanation. Now, this book is somewhat controversial, I must say, but just bear with me here. Your absence regenerates the person's desire for you, and when you return, he or she cherishes and respects you again. Okay? So, absolutely. In fact, I fully agree with this, you know, and you know, it's just the way human beings are wired. It may sound like a bad thing to do. Look, if you're married and you've got kids, you can't just be disappearing on somebody for 4 days without any, you know, communication. What this is really referring to is the seduction process when you're getting to know somebody. You notice they're getting tired. Maybe they're replying 2 or 3 days late to you, and before it used to be every day. It's because you're too available, man. You're always there. She texts you before she's even finished her text. You're typing away. She's like, oh, fucking hell, man. Like you were sat there waiting for me to type, you little fucking freak. Do you not have a life? Do you not have a job? Do you not have anything that you're doing to occupy your time? Like, this is just, and that's what women feel when you're always there, when you're always available. If you take her out on date night every night, date night will lose its sweetness, really. It's specialness, right? So bear that in mind. And you will know, trust me, listen to how you connect with your body a little bit more, how you feel when you're around certain people. If you feel like you're not being appreciated, it's a sign for you to take a step back. Let them miss you. Let them think, you know what? We did take this guy for granted. If it's a girl that you've really invested a lot into, I'm talking about emotionally, and you really care about her, and you're noticing that she's not reciprocating, just take a step back. Don't have a certain strategy in mind with where this is going to take you. Don't use it as a strategy. Because it's a self-respecting thing to do. When somebody isn't appreciating your time, you stop giving them your time. I made a video a few days ago, right? Give people the gift of your absence. When you're not around, then they'll feel like, oh, well, actually, now we're feeling his absence. We really are. He's needed. He's important. Your woman's going to be like, you know what? I was taking him for granted. You know, he's a really sweet guy. He's really caring. All right. So thanks for watching, gents. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. Do leave a comment as well. It helps with the algorithm. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.